Like I said, for those who do not know, I am the Black Guru. What I offer is sage wisdom. This is the Snowfall 204 reaction and review scope. And let's just get right into it. Let's not waste any time. Now, we start off this episode. Let me give some overall thoughts. Let me give some overall thoughts of tonight's episode because I don't want to come off too much like a hater. You know, my last video I posted on Snowfall on YouTube, people kind of, felt a 50-50 about it. I know this show is starting to grow on some people. I have a slight crush on that uncle. It's crazy. But the show is not above reproach. The show is not above criticism. The show is not above a critical analysis, and that's what I'm here to do. Overall, I enjoyed tonight's episode. Tonight's episode had its moments. Tonight's episode had its instances, but I think the fundamental problem with Snowfall continues to be the fundamental problem with Snowfall, and that's the characterization of its three main characters. But let me start with some good. Okay, let me start with some good before we get into some bad and ultimately into some ugly. So we start with tonight's episode, a little bit of a flashback, and then we cut to this scene here where Franklin's mom is going to the hospital to meet Franklin's dad, who ended up getting his ass whooped on last week's episode by the police. Now, I thought this was very intriguing because as soon as she walked into the room, I said, thank God. Thank God. Now we're finally about to get some fucking story in this show. Now we're about to start fleshing some shit out. So I was very excited about the potential of these two characters finally having conversations with one another that can potentially help flesh out themselves and ultimately help flesh out Franklin. Did we get our answer? They tiptoed around it. Hopefully with them two being amongst one another, we finally get some backstory with Franklin. We finally get some insight with that character and insight between what happened with these two and the way Franklin was raised. We need that. Franklin needs that. Now, this episode was very Franklin centric. Okay, it was very Franklin centric, which I like that. I like the fact that we stayed with Franklin for the entire episode for the most part. I like that we gave Franklin a little bit of a small character arc throughout this story. We talked about Franklin let's just get into it. So we see Franklin. We do a little bit of a time skip again. We skip about a week. And you know how I feel about time skips. But we did a bit of a small time skip. Nothing really too damaging though. And we see Franklin's white homeboy ended up selling that key, threw Franklin that money. So he's got a little market up there with the white folks. So then we get this scene right here that I loved. Franklin comes in with the business suit. It's all business with Franklin now. It was dope how Franklin was asking his people about the money. Yeah, so Franklin's all business now. He's got his business suit on. He's come ready. He's meeting with the big upstate Arabs. And he's talking about overseas corporations and all of this big time business shit. So Franklin's on the cusp of being really, really big time with his empire. So he's really on the cusp of really taking his game to the next level, which is intriguing. The conversation that took place here was intriguing. Franklin notices that glass or that jade lion statue, and the guy gives it to him as a token of their friendship. And Franklin's still not ready though. He still doesn't trust everybody in this situation. He's still a little bit leery as far as how big his organization can be. So he's a little bit hesitant, which isn't uncommon, or it isn't surprising that he's a little bit leery. So Franklin's contemplating, I don't know. But Franklin was given a piece of advice by Teddy. Teddy said, you got to learn how to empower other people. See, that's going to come up later this episode. Franklin learning how to empower other people. Okay? So here's the second element of tonight's episode when Franklin said, hey, there's $5,000 missing from the trust. We got $5,000 missing, which places Franklin on an arc where he begins to ask all of his people about the money to see who took the money. And now Gigi mentioned moments ago that she's starting to have a little bit of a crush on the uncle, but I have a different perspective. I think they got to give that man a better wig. They got to give him a better Jerry curl wig, because this thing always looks like a wig. It always looks unnatural on his head. Now, this is just an observation, but they got to get him a better lace front. They got to get him tightened up with a better Jerry curl wig, because this always looks like somebody in a wig. And they got to get a better hair person to give him a Jerry curl, or either that or cut him out of the curl altogether. I like the old mullet. Yeah, I'm not talking about the style of it. I'm talking about the authenticity of it. Doesn't look very authentic. That's just a minor criticism. Black Guru, I think his step auntie's gonna make her own move. She know how to cook it. That's true. So let's get to that. So she walks in on another one, right? She walks in on some bullshit, basically, as far as I'm concerned. She walks in, give me the code to the combination. He like, what you want? How much you want? You know, just name it. I don't want it. You gonna walk out on me. And so she get into this whole little thing where she really just wanted to leave him. So she act like she made it about the combination, but she really just wanted to leave. Franklin and Teddy have a lot of similarities. Would you agree? That's just the vibes I get. No. Notice how she's dressing now, all fly and jazzed up. Yeah, she is dressing a lot flyer now. She's feeling herself since she got proposed to by the club owner. So, what's up, Brad? So she's feeling herself right now. So she's all giving Ankh shit about what's going on. And Ankh is basically like, yeah, you know, tear your ass, as far as I'm concerned. Tear your fucking ass. You know, get your ass on. Ain't no big deal with me. Ain't no sweat off my fucking back. You'll be back. You're not serious. So that's his demeanor, and she's ready to go. I wanted to point this out because I like that ugly sweater he's got on. I really did like this ugly sweater. If I can find that for sale, I'll get that motherfucker, because I like that. I thought it was pretty dope. So Franklin's meeting up because Franklin's got an idea now. Franklin said, hey, his uncle challenged Franklin and told Franklin, hey, people are starting to talk. They don't think you got their back. They don't think you got their back right now. So you're kind of looking weak out here. You need to tighten your shit up. So Franklin decided to, hey, let's buy everybody guns. Let's arm everybody. So that way we can stop getting robbed and getting fucked over out here in these streets, because that's what's happening. Now, here's the highlight of tonight's episode. This is the highlight. And allow me to suggest that the best thing about this show so far is the Mexicans. I've said this week after week after week after week. Lucia and the Mexicans are the most compelling characters that they've established so far. Okay? They're the most compelling characters so far. They have the most storyline. They have the most intrigue. Okay? The Mexicans have the most going on when we talk about Snowfall. Bottom line. Bottom line. Okay? So we have a situation here where ICE, I guess Donald Trump sent them. That's a joke. But ICE swoops in and start busting people asking for papers. They looking for green cards. They snatching Mexicans up and they're looking for green cards. And she says, hey, I don't hire illegals. But for some reason, and I forget her character's name, but the girlfriend, for some reason, she won't shut the fuck up. She just keeps fucking mouthing off. And she won't shut the fuck up. So she ends up getting slapped in the face. And Lucia started to trust her after that. Kind of seeing she had balls. So she kind of earned Lucia's trust, which is going to potentially come back to haunt her. So here we go with the meeting of the minds. This is, again, a critical plot of this episode because Franklin puts Ankh in charge of leading the speech, getting everybody riled up, getting everybody focused, giving everybody their pistols, and letting them know what time it is. So Franklin learned the lesson from Teddy, how to delegate authority. his homeboy who's out for blood. So this is again Lucia gaining with the girlfriend, kind of they starting to feel each other now. They starting to be cool and shit. And we see at the end of the episode that's not that wise. Lucia also tells Uso, "Hey, I got something for you." And he was like, "I've seen everything." She was like, "No, you haven't." So we get to this party scene. We get to this scene here where is the oil field supposed to be the desert like Breaking Bad? I guess so, Brad. We get to this scene here, and Franklin's homeboy lets him know, "Hey, yeah, I took the 5,000. I took that 5,000, and I gave it to my dead homeboy's auntie. You know, he said, I ain't think you would mind." And Franklin's like, "Yeah, you could have told me that, though. You could have told me that." Now, this is interesting right here, because I actually was on the homeboy's side. I wasn't on Franklin's side with this, because he told you about the killing in the first place, and you really didn't do nothing about it. He's going to have to kill him too, Defiant. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Initially, I felt for the homeboy, because he told you what was popping, Franklin, and Franklin didn't do anything about it. Okay? So Franklin didn't do shit the first time. Now, it seems that this relationship may become problematic. But in this very moment, I kind of lean more towards the homeboy. Because Franklin hasn't been taking care of that business. Franklin simply didn't handle that situation correctly last week as far as I'm concerned. He stole from him. I wouldn't consider it stealing. I wouldn't consider him stealing the $5,000. I wouldn't consider that stealing. He told him straight up he did it. He didn't try to hide it from him. He said, "I didn't think you were mine." And I felt that this was more payback for the fact that Franklin mishandled the situation on last week. He mishandled that shit. They were out to meet Lucia to find out who killed his peoples. And then Franklin come back talking about a business deal. So the homeboy's like, wait, what? What? We need to find out who killed my peoples, though. Franklin, chill. We need to chill first. We don't need to fucking chill. So the guy kind of takes it upon himself to say, "Hey, at least let me take care of my aunt. You know, they just buried my peoples and shit. Let me at least put some money in their pocket to help bury them and take care of them for Christmas." So that's why I lean more towards the homeboy, but he is starting to become a thorn in Franklin's side. That I want to see how Franklin's going to end up dealing with that. I mean, I understand him being in his feelings, but he took money without asking. Yeah, but it's not no. The way I look at it, Gigi, is that he did take money without asking. He did do that, but I don't think he was in the wrong. He got a point, but he wrong the way he go about it. He's not trustworthy. Let me get through this. Let me get through. Don't. No, let's deal with this right now. Let's deal with this shit right now. Is Franklin trustworthy? As a leader of this crew, is Franklin trustworthy? He pointed a gun at him and took money without asking. He did. Yes, and he lied about how they were killed. Well, and that's funny, Elizabeth. You said they lied about how he was killed, but we didn't get any confirmation on that. I think it works better to split him off and make him an enemy. We didn't get any confirmation about was the dick cut off or not, because Lucia said it wasn't, but then he said it was. But we didn't get, we got a he say, she say, but we did see at the end of the stabbing death by the Mexican, we did see him turn around and flick out a knife. No, but most leaders are not trustworthy. Not everything is for everyone to know. So right now, Elizabeth, we kind of in between who was the dicks cut off or were they not cut off? It's funny to say that. It's funny to verbalize that. But we're in between if the dicks were cut off or not. So we don't necessarily know if he lied about that or not. And he could have been lied to about that. Franklin versus Kev season 3. I don't think Franklin is being malicious. I think he's growing too fast. Yeah, and when I asked the question, can we trust Franklin? You mentioned this. You mentioned this a week ago. We got to deal with this. We got to deal with it. Fuck it. I like to save shit for the end, but fuck it. Let's just do it now. Let's just do it now. We talked about Franklin on last week. Why did the uncle become so submissive when Franklin came around? Franklin came around and last week when they were plotting to shoot the Mexicans. Franklin came, checked everybody, and the uncle went from fuck Franklin to kind of tucking his tail in like, yeah, I got to do what Franklin tell me to do. Now, what has Franklin done over the course of 14 episodes to wield that type of authority? What has he done to strike that level of fear amongst his crew? Because his homeboy's done all the dirty work. Well, they're all making money. They're all a part of the money-making process, Troll. Troll said he's made money. They're all a part of the money-making process. But to strike a level of fear, where does that come from? So when I asked the question, put money in their pocket. Yeah, the uncle was already getting money selling weed. He's smart though. He made them money. So when I asked the question, is Franklin trustworthy as a leader of the crew? I don't know. His trustworthiness was questioned on tonight by the uncle when he said, hey, people are starting to talk that you ain't got people's back. That's the point I'm trying to make, you guys. He was questioned even in this episode by his own crew that you don't have people's backs. Maybe it's something we missed during the flashback. You following me though? He got questioned on tonight's episode. Hey man, people starting to talk. You know, you ain't got everybody's back. So my point in bringing that up is to say, how is Franklin this fearless, undeniable leader of this crew when people are starting to whisper based on certain situations that he ain't got people's backs? Because he handled the Mexicans. I don't remember that. Remember him handling the Mexicans. What do you mean by that, Isabitty? So that's what I mean when I ask that question. I think it's because they don't see a backbone enough. But those guys should not have been on that location. That's true, Isabitty. Now, they shouldn't have been over there to begin with. They was wrong for being over there to begin with. They got killed for disobeying. That's true. That is true. So let me finish this up before we get too far ahead of ourselves. So, like I said, this is the moment where he tells Franklin, hey, I took the money, dude, and I paid my peoples off. I didn't think you would have a problem with that. And he said, yeah, I do have a problem with that. You could have at least said something. I gave you everything else you wanted. You could have at least said something about that. Do you also think he distrusts the white kid also? But he made him a deal here. Don't let me forget you asked that question. He made him a deal here. He said, hey, if you can find out who did it, with some solid evidence about who did it, then we'll handle that. We'll handle that. If you can find out who did that shit, bro, we'll handle that. Because he challenged Franklin right here. He said, hey, dude, you didn't really handle that shit last week. So he said, hey, if you can find out who did it, I'll ride with you. Okay? And they dapped it up, so that's the end of that. Then he goes and talks to your girl about the situation. Basically, why she left, told her you ain't got to cook like that no more. And she's like, that really wasn't why I left. She really tired of Jerome ass, really. And she's fucking a lesbian. So that's a big reason why she doesn't want to be with a man anymore. But so she's out. And basically Franklin tells her, says, hey, we built this shit together though. We did this shit together right here. We started this shit. He said, I can't do this without you. And she said, you're going to have to, player, because I'm out. So then we get to this here. Now, we talked about the good, the Mexicans. We talked about some stuff that I kind of questioned with Franklin. Now, let's talk about the fucking ugly. And that's Teddy. Oh, you guys, Teddy. So Teddy finds out they're digging up old bodies. They're digging up they're digging up grounds for the 1984 LA Olympics, and he's got a couple of bodies hanging out there. So he grabs what's his name, Matt, runs out there and tries to dig up these bodies, but they're in suitcases. And then, you know, they dig the bodies up, they're in suitcases, and Teddy's kind of sitting there kind of crying, or he's kind of, you know, he's digging them up. No, Matt's sitting there throwing up, just sickening by all this. And Teddy, I don't know if Teddy was feeling guilty about what he did, because Matt goes, oh my God, they're in suitcases? Like, you chopped them up and put them in suitcases? You fucking asshole, you bastard. And I think that's what I was supposed to get from that scene. That Teddy should be guilty about how he handled that situation. That made me, I'll be puking everywhere. Way to throw his brother under the bus. Right. And they're digging a fucking 6-foot hole in the middle of the night, and Matt doesn't know what's in the hole until he fucking smells a dead body. But I'm not even going to nitpick that little element of it. I won't nitpick that. I'm just saying he packed them up so they could go road tripping. So then we end here with a good note. We end with Franklin's mom and dad back in the house. He's in Franklin's room. Hopefully this Franklin's dad manifests into a stronger character, because Franklin's side of the story really needs something. And we get into tonight's big plot point. We have the little girlfriend is a goddamn agent. The writers really fucked this up. I don't blame the actors here. Did you notice wrestler poster on the wall? Yeah, I noticed. This fucking bitch is a goddamn fed. She's a fed. And that whole immigration thing was a setup just to gain Lucia's trust, and it worked. So now Lucia and her cousin are now sleeping with the enemy. The enemy's right under their noses. Like I said, the Mexicans are the most intriguing characters. That's why this element of the plot line was very intriguing, because now we have the damn DEA, or some sort of fed, right under Lucia and them's noses, right in their midst. So how does this play out? Now they just stealing from power. She looked just like Angela. But I was intrigued. I was, you know, this was a great part of tonight's episode. Like I said, the two best parts of tonight's episode was the ice raid and the plot twist at the end dealing with the ice raid. Those were the highlights of tonight's episode. Pedro's a dumbass and a liability. Good point. And I personally like this scene where Osa got the new ring. I'm a wrestling fan, so when Osa got his ring, I felt good about that. I was happy for him. And Mom's got the gift that Franklin gave her, the lion. And again, it ends with the ugly, because I don't know what is Teddy contemplating right now. Like, you guys tell me, what's on Teddy's mind right now? What's Teddy thinking about? Does he feel guilty about what he did? The girl was already dead. He didn't kill her. He killed the guy who killed her, and he chopped him up and he buried him. And that been happened months ago. You guys tell me. Brad said it's his dad he's thinking about. What is Teddy contemplating right now? And this is what I mean: the good, the bad, and the ugly of Snowfall. This is the good and bad and ugly of Snowfall. The Teddy is the ugly, in the sense of his characterization has been ugly as shit since season 1. He's thinking about that plate of bacon. I don't know. Is he supposed to be guilty right now? He feels a sense of, what does he feel a sense of? Check this out. Let me tie something together for you guys. Let me tie something together. He's a CIA agent, remember? Remember I told you guys that he kind of overdid it with Franklin and his homeboy? How did he get married and divorced so fast? Exactly, GG. But remember when he had Franklin tied to the pole and I said he's kind of overdoing it? I said that he's kind of doing too much with that. And so you mean to tell me, CIA agent, you don't know how to dispose of bodies in a manner in which you won't be implicated if they're ever found? Think about what I'm saying now. You went through all that shit with Franklin. I gotta be careful. I'm big time. I gotta be careful. Gotta watch my tracks. I had to hit you with a fucking car, gas you, tie you to a pole, tase your homeboy, pull a gun out on you, make you confess and figure out who I am, while I'm blinking this fucking light in your face on some CIA agent shit. But I can't dispose of 2 bodies without those 2 bodies tracking back to me. Okay? This is the type of convoluted shit that I'm talking about. Gigi brings a great point about the divorce. He got married and divorced to that woman in DC. This was his main storyline throughout the course of season 1. Excuse me. I would like to see the divorce. How does he handle that? I would like to see this marriage. If they're talking about that situation, they may be talking about a marriage and divorce prior to him meeting the girl from last season. I'm still a little bit unclear on that, honestly. But if they are talking about the girl from last season, please show us these scenes. Show us these scenes, because these characters need help. They need fucking help, especially Teddy. Teddy needs fucking help right now, making him a compelling character. Because him sitting right here, supposedly looking guilty. I don't think so. I thought Paul was the son. Yeah, I'm just trying to give the benefit of the doubt, GG. I'm trying to give some benefit of the doubt here. I'm trying to find some benefit of the doubt. And then lastly, we see Franklin on Christmas cooking dope. I think it was on purpose, because you remember he told Franklin his little control issues. Right. So lastly, we see Franklin here cooking dope. And that ends tonight's episode. You guys, I just gotta be me. I gotta be the black guru. I gotta offer sage wisdom, you guys. There's good, there's bad, there's ugly with this show. There's good, there's bad, and there's fucking ugly. The good is the Mexicans. The more we talk about the hoes in the storyline, the more I start to lose interest. Franklin got a lot to figure out. What about the white kid? Do you think there's a slight distrust? Possibly. I believe so. Not really, but I'm just saying they got to do better. Yeah, the good is the Mexicans. The bad is, the bad is Franklin. The Franklin and Franklin's fucking storyline. And the ugly is fucking Teddy. And Teddy's storyline. And this show has an interesting plot. It has interesting actors. But they got to tell a fucking story. Please pull a story out of somewhere. Tell fucking Hansel and Gretel. Tell fucking the Three Little Pigs. Tell a fucking story up in this motherfucker. Somewhere. I'm sorry, you guys. Somewhere they've got to tell a fucking story here. So everything doesn't need to be explained right away. It could be explained over time. They got to unfold the beats of a fucking story here. We're 14 episodes in, and Franklin's doing 6% corporation deals with Arabs. Where do we even go from here? Where do we even go from there? We're 14 episodes into this show, and Franklin's already doing 16% overseas corporation deals with fucking Arabs. And he quit selling fucking cocaine in episode 3 of season 1. He quit selling cocaine. And I'm about to give you guys a little bit of a tidbit. He quit selling cocaine at the end of episode 3 of season 1. Remember? He told Javi, he handed him the bag of money and said, nah, I'm good. I'm out. The next episode was the 4th of July episode. Remember, you guys, the 4th of July episode, the party that took place at the house? I went back and watched that episode closely. I listened to every single line of dialogue dealing with Franklin and his crew from that episode. The reason why I did this, because at the end of that episode, Franklin suggested to his homeboys that he wants to get back into the dope game. So I went through that episode with a fine-tooth comb to see exactly why Franklin wanted to sell dope again. Why did he want to get back into the game? What happened to Franklin that day that made him want to get back into the game? And this is what I came up with. The police show up. Let's take a step back. Remember, he bails his dad out of prison. He bailed his dad out of prison. He bails his dad out of jail. He has a conversation with his dad. Now, in the conversation with his dad, he tells his dad to shut the fuck up. And his dad's like, what you mean shut the fuck up? Who you think you talking to? And then he tells his dad, you ain't no man. And he said, if I wasn't a man, then what you come looking for me for? He told him that. Franklin thought about that for a second. So now we're later in the evening and the police pull up. His mom is trying to break the police up. Now Franklin, listen, Franklin yells out the crowd, fuck you, you pigs. Fuck you, fuck y'all. Okay? So the police are like, what the fuck? So the police jump on his ass and start choking him. As they're choking him, Franklin's dad is walking away. Franklin's dad is walking away. So Franklin, he talks to his mom. He tells his mom, I'm going to pay you back that $200. I couldn't find out what he was referencing, but he told his mom, I'm going to pay you back that $200. Then he's on the roof with his homeboys. They're chilling, pouring out liquor. And he says, hey, you think we can borrow the keys on tomorrow? He was like, yeah, for what? So we ain't got to go catch the bus to see Avi. So now he's ready to get back into the dope game off of the events of that 4th of July. And what I was able to gather, $200 bill, $200 for dad's bill. I guess it was for the bail. Like I said, I couldn't figure out. Maybe it was for the bail. Franklin is too nice. His crew think he is weak. Franklin has to transform into a killer. That'll be nice, Bubba Sharp. So for the life of me, I couldn't figure out why Franklin got back into the dope game. The only thing I was able to gather is that he wanted to prove he was more of a man than his father was. I think that's what I was supposed to get from all of that he's more of a man than his father was. And there's some dialogue that could have been done on that rooftop to really help drive that point home. I shouldn't have to piece it together line by line like I did. They should have had a better conversation on that rooftop that would have really summarized why he wants to get back into the dope game. Okay? And I've actually figured out the dialogue that he should have said. I figured out the exact dialogue he should have used that would have conveyed that message more perfectly. He should have said something to the effect of, My dad ain't no man. He call himself a Black Panther, but he ain't no man. He's not no man. Look at him. He's homeless. He broke, but he supposed to be a Black Panther? Say, bro, let me get the keys tomorrow. For what? So we can go and see Javi. See, that would have summarized that he's getting back into the game to prove to his father, because he doesn't want to end up like his dad. He doesn't want to buy into the values and views of his father, because he ain't no man. He's going to make his own path. And if he would have said something to that effect, it would have really drove home why Franklin's in the game. And he got back into the game. But here's the thing. A lot of people been saying that, Brad. Franklin sells dope for his mom so he can take care of his mom. He was meeting with Arabs tonight talking about 6% deals on overseas corporations. That ain't got a damn thing to do with his mom. That ain't got shit to do with his mom. And let me censor what I'm saying so people don't think I'm just ranting and raving or I'm hating on the show. This show's got to get to telling a fucking story with these incredible characters. You got to get to unveiling some beats here. You got to get to telling the damn story. Tonight's episode was good because they told the story about you was talking about the rooftop convo. I see. They were telling the story of how crack was made. And let me say something, Brad. Let me say something really quickly about that rooftop convo. Him taking care of his mom is not compelling in regards to how big his organization is, because there's a limit to how much he has to do to take care of his mom. Okay, how much do you really need to make? You can make $100,000 a year and take care of your mom. They're doing big fucking business. They're talking about dummy corporations overseas. Now, that level of ambition to go the opposite direction of his homeless father does make more sense, because he wants to prove that his dad is a bum laying on the street. But here's Franklin, this big time wealthy businessman. Okay, so he's the complete antithesis of his father by being a big time wealthy businessman. He's the complete opposite of his father. That could justify his big ambition. See, taking care of his mom, that's like $100,000 ambition. But not being a homeless coward like his dad, that's a multi-million-dollar ambition. And the dichotomy you create if you do that is his dad is homeless, but he's a Black Panther. Meaning he stands for community and togetherness and the strengthening of community. Franklin's a millionaire, but he's selling a product that's destroying the community. So now you have an ideological clash. What I always tell you guys, which makes any story good. You have an ideological clash between Franklin's father and Franklin himself. And through that ideological clash, you can tell a multitude of different stories. But I liked tonight's episode. I really did. I'll give tonight's episode a 7. I'll give it a 7. We spent a lot of time with Franklin. We had some plot twist in tonight's episode. I'll give it a 7.5. We had some plot twists in tonight's episode. This episode, in a nutshell, was very good. From pillar to post, this episode was very good. Overseas biz, that's not really believable. They should have made it more of a tough start for him. And that's what I was alluding to earlier. That's what sent me on that whole tangent. We're 14 episodes in, and we're talking about overseas. We're talking about overseas corporations. And he stopped selling dope 3 episodes in. So we're really talking about 11 episodes. If you could kill off one cast member, who would it be? I'll kill Jerome. He should stay trying to get going. If I could kill one cast member on Snowfall, that's a great question. If I could kill one cast member, I would probably kill Franklin's mom. I would kill Franklin's mom. KF, Lucia. I've been killing moms lately. I'm sorry, y'all. For my my power review. I had Tasha being killed, and now I'm killing Franklin's mom. I've been killing some moms lately. I'm sorry, you guys. Why do you that think they set Franklin off? Yeah, I want to kill. I would kill Franklin's mom. I would kill the auntie. She know the recipe, looking like Disney. Yeah, on some Disney shit. Yeah, I would kill Franklin's mom to turn him into a more tragic character. And I would like to, like I just mentioned to you guys, I would like to juxtapose Franklin's dad to Franklin himself. So I would kill off Franklin's mom so I could squeeze Franklin and Franklin's dad together and make those two characters really have to play off of each other. The morality and the moral code of a Black Panther, but the fact that he's a homeless drunk versus the intellect and sharpness of a community killing drug dealer in Franklin. Two men who both cared about this woman in different capacities. Who have similarities. Obviously, they have similarities and a connectivity, a strong connectivity, but they couldn't be more opposite from one another. Franklin can't keep his hands clean forever. He'll eventually go and get a body who detoxed in 6 days. I think Demi Lovato detoxed in 6 days. For those who do not know, I am the Black Guru. What I offer is sage wisdom. Follow the Black Guru if you don't already, and keep those hearts flying. Tonight's and I'm talking a lot about Franklin, but I really liked tonight's episode. I really did. I enjoyed it. I was excited about it. Is it just me, or does the drug stuff start to get boring? I just want more family dilemmas. The drug stuff is fine, but I think we're moving too fast. The Lucia stuff is fine. The Lucia drug stuff is fine because there's a lot of dynamic there. The Franklin drug stuff, honestly, you guys, I'm just not really into Franklin's story right now. There's just not enough. There's not enough compelling stuff there. Like I said, it's the bad. It's not ugly like Teddy shit, but it is fucking. It's not home run shit with Franklin. Lucia and them, on the other hand, that's home run shit. I like that. You think Bloods and Crips will play a part in future seasons? That's possible. I mean, think about it, you guys. There's only so many different types of stories you can tell. And what is Franklin's story? Is this a coming of age story? It can be a coming of age story. He's already he's already setting up overseas corporations, or being offered to set up overseas corporations. So we're not talking coming of age. He's already a big fucking kingpin. When Franklin brought his whole crew out there to the oil field, you guys didn't know Franklin's organization was that big already. We didn't know this shit, how big Franklin was. Franklin doesn't need to be the focus of every storyline. While on the other hand, Lucia and her crew, you see they got their front going. They selling fruit. They really taking over the uncle's drug dealing empire. So they've kind of taken over the uncle's drug dealing empire. So you see this woman running this drug dealing empire that she got in a nefarious way. There's a lot more going on with Lucia. Is Franklin going to be buying and selling oil overseas next? But for real. Yeah, like I said, Lucia stuff is beautiful. I love what's going on with the Mexicans. I love the dynamic. I love the dynamic. Everything with them is going good. I like it. Lucia is a very interesting character. She's very complex. She has a lot going on. She's being set up right under her nose by her cousin. Does her cousin know? Does he not know? Would he tell if he finds out? You see what I'm saying? Will Oz, I can never pronounce it, is Uso, will he get the information first? Louis still needs to get the club. Is Pedro in on it? Right. That's what I'm saying. Is Pedro in on it? Will he be blindsided? Will he have to be forced to make a choice? See, all of this shit is on the table. All of this shit is good shit. There's a lot of plot to unfold with Lucia and them. Okay? There's a lot of plot to unfold. Does the girlfriend end up turning on the DEA, getting control of Lucia's spot, with Pedro turning on the DEA and forcing Lucia out? See, there's a lot of ways we can go with Lucia. That's why I say Lucia and them and the Mexicans are the good. They're the good. The bad is Franklin and them. But Pedro killing her will show he for the family. What's Uncle's girlfriend's name who started sleeping with the club owner? Franklin told her 2 or 3 episodes ago, hey, you getting kind of hot and heavy with her. You might want to slow down with her. You're going to end up ruining stuff. You need to slow down. You need to chill a little bit. And then she ends up leaving. And then she does this fucking speech. You gonna miss the best thing that ever walked out of your life because I'm gone. I really can't see, honestly, and you guys can tell me. You guys tell me, because I'm asking questions and I need some fucking answers. Maybe y'all can help me. Why is she so mad at Jerome anyway? What did he do so bad to her? What did he do so fucked up to her? What happened that week? What happened in those 6 days we missed? What happened? To where she's got a, what's the keys to the safe? What's the combination to the safe? He like, baby, what you want? Just say the number, I'll get it. Rationing out her money. It seems like everybody's getting rationed out money. Franklin got on his boy for not asking for $5,000. Seems like everybody's getting doled out. Everybody's getting doled out money. Nobody's just, doing what they want with the money. Everybody's getting, spoon fed the money. I don't know. But she comes in on this whole kick. Remember John Singleton said the show was going to be a ghetto Game of Thrones, so anything can happen. Yeah, they need... I haven't seen Game of Thrones. I haven't seen Game of Thrones, you guys. I haven't seen it. Ever since Franklin pimped her out, she been mad. I haven't seen Game of Thrones, you guys, but I imagine Game of Thrones is a lot better than this. I imagine Game of Thrones is a lot better than this. I think she just burned out from all the cooking. I don't know. I'm really searching my feelings to see how I really feel about this shit. This not on the same level of Game of Thrones. I've never seen Game of Thrones, and I know it's not on the same level. I can tell you that, and I've never seen that shit before. I've never seen Game of Thrones, and I know Game of Thrones is a lot better than this. If you like incest, that's part of the reason I ain't watched it yet. For those who do not know, I am the Black Guru. What I offer is sage wisdom. Follow the Black Guru if you don't already, and keep those hearts flying. Follow right here on Periscope. Also follow me on YouTube. For the YouTube rewatchers, y'all go ahead and subscribe now. Y'all visit blackguruhats.bigcartel.com to pick up the latest Black Guru hats. I don't know, you guys. 7.5 because I did like tonight's episode in a nutshell, but come on. Game of Thrones is all about being king, so maybe that's what he was talking about. They're going to have Crips and Bloods on Game of Thrones. You got to check out Wentworth. It's so dope. Yeah, you guys. I'm sorry I don't have more for you guys, but... And I want to talk about Lucia and them because I really do think what's going on with them is exciting. What's going on with Lucia and them is worthwhile. So is settled. Snowfall far from the same scale as Power. Well, I've had that conversation with people, and people are swearing by Snowfall right now because it's new. It's the new pretty girl at school. Snowfall is the pretty freshman. Power is the senior who's been around the block. So people are kind of getting tired of Power, and people are liking the new pretty freshman at the high school or at the college, however you want to look at it. And that's what Snowfall is. Snowfall, let me say it this way, just for my Snowfall fans. Snowfall may be better than Power right now, but Snowfall hasn't been as good as Power has been. So Power has played at a higher level than Snowfall is currently playing at, even if Snowfall is currently a better show than Power is right now. But honestly, you guys, if I just gotta, Brad, I gotta tell the truth, bro. I wouldn't be the black guru if I didn't give you guys the truth. I got criticized last week. Let me be honest with you guys. I got criticized last week big time because I went after Snowfall pretty hard, and Snowfall has a very faithful fan base and is growing, and people really don't want to hear criticism about Snowfall. But I got to be honest with you guys. Whether you think it's better than Power or not, that's one thing. But this episode, you guys, there was not that much entertainment value in tonight's episode. I'm flicking through these scenes. There were a couple of lines. Here's tonight's best moment. There was a couple of lines. There was a couple of moments. But Ank's speech to get everybody riled up. We gonna do some smoking and we gonna do some fucking. Yeah, yeah. Come on, you guys. That wasn't no shit that fucking. Come on, y'all. The plot twist on tonight's episode was great. The conversation between Franklin and his homeboy who took the money was pretty good. This conversation completely fell flat. The conversation between Franklin and old auntie here, this completely fell flat. What was the nature of these two characters? I can't do this without you. We started this. Well, baby, you're gonna have to. What the fuck? You could have texted me that shit. What the fuck? What was unveiled about these characters? What was revealed? What was really communicated with these two in this scene? That dress looking nice. Claudia get it? Yeah, she got it for me. You know, you don't got to cook as much anymore. Oh, baby, it ain't about that. We started this right here. You know, I kind of need you around. You're going to have to do it without me. And she walks away. Franklin was going to get Louis the club. I thought they would address that. I thought that was the whole thing. I thought she would mention that. Hey, remember you promised me you were going to get me this club? Well, I got it. Well, you know, I thought she would have mentioned that. She doesn't. So I'm like, okay. I kind of think some people might relate more with Franklin than Ghost. Maybe that's why Snowfall. I just think it's new. And don't get me started on Teddy. Don't even get me fucking started on Teddy again. I'm sorry. I don't even know what this shit was about. We gotta go. Hold on. Stay here for a little bit. Stay here. I gotta go. He runs down there. How long y'all gonna be here? Oh, we should have everything dug up in 2 days. Oh, okay. He runs back. Say, bro, get your shoes on. Put your stuff on, bro. We got something we gotta do. We gotta roll. We gotta go. So he goes out there to start digging. What are we digging for? Come on, let's dig. Oh my God, I know that smell. That's a dead body. How many are there? Oh, there's 2. Oh, you couldn't tell me in a fucking car on the way over here? You couldn't tell me what the fuck we about to do? Dig up some fucking bodies? And Teddy's looking all fucking, oh no, what have I done? What? They been dead. He's making this shit like, oh no, what kind of person am I? Motherfucker, you been that person. You the same person that hit fucking Franklin with the car. Remember? You was the fucking big time plug drug dealer then. Now you have sympathy over somebody you didn't kill and somebody you had to kill because come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Stop fucking acting like I'm making this bullshit up. Stop acting like I'm just being critical for no reason. This shit is not adding up. It's not. It's not. Yeah, but in fairness, we pull up to a dirt lot, 2 shovels. What do you think is there? And FYI, how you know what a dead body smells like? They were in the military, so I'm taking it. I'm taking it because of the military. He knows what it smells like. But I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just saying. Like I said, I took a lot of flack last week because I was critical, and I begged the question. I asked the question, why does Franklin sell dope? I had to go do a thorough investigation as to why Franklin started back selling dope, only to come up with a theory. I only walked away with a theory based on what was presented. And now you in this Teddy stuff, this character profile for Teddy is I don't please you guys come on. Please. Please. Tonight's plot twist was really good. Love tonight's plot twist. And what does this mean? Is she ready to accept Franklin back into her life now? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, you guys. But hey, for those who do not know, I am the Black Guru. What I offer is sage wisdom. Follow the Black Guru if you don't already, and keep those hearts flying. I just want to see some wrestling in that ring. Me too. I want to see a good old fashioned WrestleMania match. Give me a wrestling storyline. Give me some type of story, Snowfall. I know we're only 4 episodes in. I know that there's a lot more to go, but we're 14 episodes into this show, and you watch American Horror Story Guru? No, I haven't. I know we're only 14 episodes in, but this ain't no fucking must see. This is not must see TV. And I hate to be reviewing it and calling it that, but I feel like it's my duty as the Black Guru to say this. This ain't no motherfucking must see TV storytelling. Tonight's episode was good, but as far as an overall, this ain't no I can't wait to see next week shit. Nothing on tonight outside of Lucia in them is I can't wait to next week. I disagree. I'm hoping it's just a dip. Outside of Lucia and them, put it like this, nothing going on with Franklin is I can't wait. Tell me right now, what about Franklin and them storyline is I can't wait next week to see what happens? What about what's going on with them is I gotta tune in next week because I got to see what happens. Give it to me right now. The plot point. Next week, the Jewish guy will be back, so I guess that's something, right? Javi will be back next week. Franklin and the Jew. And this is must see TV. This is tune in 9 o'clock to see what takes place between Franklin and the Jew. What's the conflict between Franklin and the Jew? What's the conflict? Jew went to jail. Franklin got the plug now. What's the conflict? Seems like something a conversation could solve. He could take some of those keys off of Franklin's hand, maybe. He's got too much dope as it is. Seems like something they can have a quick conversation about and say, hey man, you get 4 from me, and it's just like the facts is based off real events. They love each other, right? Okay. We'll see. We'll see. I'll let. I asked the question. You guys answered. You guys said the Jews coming back next week. Let's see what this big Jew shit is. Let's see if this big Jew fucking storyline is what we've been building to for 14 episodes now. I'll be interested to see if the Jew coming back next week is the big home run. Let me contrast that to something. We just want to talk about Power. Power left off with Silver is going to lie, is going to be asked to lie for Tasha. Why did one of Franklin's guys call him the Saint or something? That's his last name, Franklin Saint. That's his full name, GG. Franklin Saint. Tasha is going to ask Silver to lie for her. Will he do it or not? Tune in next week to find out. And everybody's saying the Jew coming back next week because a lot of y'all seen the next week on Snowfall clips. I didn't see next week from Snowfall clips. I just seen the end of the episode. Nothing in the episode gave you any indication of what to come back and watch next week. If you go from the moment the episode ended, if you go from the moment the episode ended, tonight's episode of Snowfall, nothing involving Franklin's storyline or Teddy's storyline brings you back to watch next week's episode. So those are my analysis, you guys. Well, we're gonna see more of the undercover CIA agent, but you're right. Yeah, see, I didn't see the next week on. Really, you don't need all that motherfucking. The story itself. The story itself is supposed to compel you to watch next week. You shouldn't have to preview next week's episode to grab people's interest. You shouldn't have to give me an episode and then say, oh yeah, next week so-and-so is going to happen. Tune in next week because here's some clips of what's going to happen. We should have seen, if you're going to do that, we should have seen the Jew dude on tonight. Give him a few minutes on tonight. Him getting out of jail. Him worried about getting back in the game. He worried about what's going on with Franklin. And then it's like, oh shit, him and Franklin going to have some conflict. Let's see it next week. Don't fucking give me a video package of him getting out and that's why come on. This is what I mean by serial storytelling. Compelling television. I hate to always go here, but it's just true. 1990, late 90s pro wrestling did this the best. WWF late 90s did this type of weekly episodic shit the best. Stone Cold Steve Austin is being challenged for the title. He's getting fired by Vince McMahon. Tune in next week to see what happens. You had to tune in next Monday night to see if Stone Cold won the title or is he going to get his shot at the title. He just got stripped for the title tonight. Vince McMahon said he's going to fire him. Okay, he just fired Austin. You got to tune in next Monday to see if Stone Cold is going to arrive. They used to do that shit every fucking week. They played this tennis match every fucking week, and you had to tune in the next week on time to see what happened to get the resolution to last week's storyline. They were the best, some of the best weekly episodic television writing that I've ever seen. And like I said, I hate to keep pulling up wrestling examples because people have their views of what professional wrestling is and isn't. But at the end of the day, it is a story. It is a weekly episodic story. And in the late 90s, they did it the best. They pulled in audiences every week. Monday night, 8 a.m. sharp, 8 p.m. Sharp. Internet ruining that for wrestling. 90s WWE, WWE, what's the shit? ECW, WCW 2, the limo would always show up. Facts, Kane is a mayor, right? Like I said, for my people, some people understand what I'm saying because they were wrestling fans at the time, so they understand. Some people were not, so they may not understand what I'm saying. So I'm trying to speak in broad strokes here. But the WWF in the late 90s did that weekly episodic storytelling the best. They would begin and end each show with a plot point, a beat, a switch. Something would take place. Somebody would screw somebody. Somebody would get the one up on somebody. And you had to come in next week to see what ended up happening because of that turn of events. And I'm transposing that over to Snowfall. Snowfall doesn't have that week to week episodic storytelling down packed. I think honestly, Snowfall may be better if you could binge it. If you could binge Snowfall, and I can watch this entire season 2 at one time in the course of a day, so I can forget about some of this mindless dribble, some of this fucking Teddy digging up dead bodies shit, so I can simply just forget that and move on to what's going to happen, then it may be better. Snowfall may would have been better on Netflix than FX. Let's say it that way. She wanted me last son tag team, Ernie Ladd, the big cat and the lad. Maybe that's why season 1 was so good for me. That's probably why it was good for me too, GG. Honestly, Snowfall may be better binged than it is released one episode a week. So that way, some of these conversations that don't go anywhere can be easily forgotten, or we can easily connect it to its next point because the suspense of this show doesn't exist. Show's coming out. It's hard for a show like Snowfall to grow. Mae Young and Mark Henry. I remember that. I'm related to the big cat. Oh, you related to the big cat or the lad, huh? The big cat or the lad. I love big cat or the lad. So maybe that's what it is, GG. Because I did like season 1. But maybe this show needs to be binge watched because then maybe it was written to be binge watched and they ended up selling it to FX and FX is releasing one episode at a time. But it is what it is. I don't want to run too long. For those who do not know, I am the Black Guru. What I offer is sage wisdom. Follow the Black Guru if you don't already, and keep those hearts flying. Go ahead and follow me right here on Periscope. Follow me on Instagram, the Black Guru on Instagram. Follow me on YouTube, the Black Guru on YouTube. Visit guruhats.bigcartel.com to get the latest Black Guru hats. Power should be Netflix original series. You remember Stephanie Man kidnapping? Yeah, I remember all of it. Very, very compelling stuff. Last night was awesome. Your show. I appreciate it. Thank you. Last night was a good show. GG, you missed it. You missed it, GG.